hello there, YouTube. I should have come out here earlier while it was all just a pouring and carrying on. It's oddly enough, it's only 30 degrees out here. It was 24 this morning, and everything's froze up. All the schools, everything's all closed. Just now starting to hear people going up and down the highway. But it's weird. It's 30 and melting. But the sun was out here for a minute or two. But yeah, got a couple inches or so. It is melting fast though. Holy moly. Look how much of it is gone. Should have came out here when the dogs were playing. I was just having too much fun watching the dogs having fun. What is it about dogs and snow? They absolutely just lose their minds, don't they? Still seems I have this sense of where's Kylie? That'll probably take a long time to stop doing, you know. The other day, I was out in the shop for something, and I was halfway to the shop. I'm going, how you have those little things in your head? Like, I haven't seen Kylie. And I was running out to see if she was in the barn or something. I'm halfway there, and I'm going, what am I doing? It's funny how you're just so used to things, and suddenly there's a change, and you just can't, like, adapt to it very quick. But I guess there's some more snow flurries. It's only supposed to, I think our high today, I think 34 or something like that. I mean, it can snow and stick at 37. And depending on how heavy it snows, it just draws the temperature down. Man, I can't believe how fast it's melting though. That's crazy. You couldn't even see the grass and stuff popping up out here earlier. Must have been really light, fluffy snow. It was coming down real slow, them old puffy flakes. I love that look. But anyway, we decided all the schools and everything's closed, and my schedule's pretty light. And Kelly, it's slow, you know, it's this time of year for parts. She's just doing inventory stuff, so we called today. But welcome to, what are we? Oh, December 1st. Welcome to December 1st, 2022. It is a Thursday. So I can only run this for a little bit. You have 30 seconds that it's in a pairing mode. Obviously it doesn't have a tachometer on it. These are, you know, they're basic. How that Siri thinks she hears me saying something blows me away. You must say something just the right way. But anyway, you got all your maintenance stuff. You can remotely shut it off. All kinds of stuff. All kinds of cool stuff in here. Support. So it keeps track of the hours. Shows that the eco throttle's on. Never display again. Oh, press and hold. Within 75 feet. How about that? Isn't that cool? So there's a QR code on the side of the generator. So you begin the process, and then you know, the last thing it says, you know, start the generator. Within 30 seconds, hit next. And then a couple of questions, you can name it and whatever. It just keeps telling me to, oh, isn't that cute? Not this thing has batteries or anything in it, but so the first stop is fuel off, and then the second click is ignition off. So you can one of the things, you know, it has a mechanical pump, fuel pump in it. So, you know, you drain the carburetor, switch the fuel to off, not the second click to turn the ignition off. And then you pull her over a few times to let whatever is left in the pump. It'll go into the carburetor, and you have the fuel drain open, the petcock or float bowl open. We pour it into it, just like I've shown you with the other generators. Pretty straightforward. Went from beginning to end on the old manual there. I know everything I need to know. So their storage things that's just the fuel tank vent. Storage stuff is pretty standard. Motorcycles and everything else do the same thing. Plastic fuel tank. So when I go into storage, like in the summertime, I drain the tanks, drain the fuel system. Make sure when you do that you have, like I use non-ethanol fuel, and it's treated so that, that'll leave a coating, whatever's wet, it'll end up drying out sitting there. But I don't leave the fuel in there. You can leave, if you do the long storage dose, if you leave the tank full, that's okay. And at a certain point, then they want you to drain the carburetor after that. It doesn't tell you to drain the tank, but it actually shows you with a little hand pump draining the tank out. And I drain them. I don't leave them. Steel gas tanks like on motorcycles, old generators like that Yamaha, those if it's going to get used, I keep it full. But I know it's not, I don't have the hookup here at the house to, like I did at Silver Lake. That was the greatest thing. It was attached a garage, and it had it was properly wired. So you flip the switch and it shuts you off from the line, the power pole. And then, this thing would run certain things. But the guy that built the house, he was a contractor. The oven was turned off. Generators, like that 6500 or 66, what is it? 66, I don't remember. 6600. That had enough power to run the stove, but we had heaters in certain rooms. I think almost all the lights worked in the house. That was what I was telling you. People come knocking on the door, a little plate of food. Can you warm this up? The microwave would work. One lady showed up. She had her, never even met this lady before. Comes up, knocks on the door. It's living in a neighborhood. You're out in the boonies, but you had houses close by all around you. I've drove you through there up there at Silver Lake. And come knocking on the door with all her stuff all covered in tinfoil. I say, well, the oven don't work, but the microwave does. That was crazy. Boy, now that was a crazy power outage place up there. But that power came a long ways up Spirit Lake Highway. There was a lot of trees to hit them poles. I think some of that, a lot, I don't know. I didn't pay attention. I drove through there, but I think a lot of stuff ended up going underground. We need to do that up here. But, people go, I don't know how you can deal with that. One of the guys at work, we were buying the generator. I said, in kind of a very strange way, it's actually kind of fun. Roughing it a little bit. But yeah, the extra, the EF 1000 Yamaha, I'd hate to think how many hours that thing has on it. We flat have used that. I've had that thing for 21 years. That's crazy. And when we were doing that, and there's a guy that did contracts. In fact, that's what he does now. No longer works for us. He did it on the side. And I remember asking him, I said, what is this box? He goes, do you have a big generator? I said, I got that little EF 1000 Yamaha. He goes, no, that don't work. It's a generator you can run 220 on. And he says it takes a great big cable and you plug it in. It's designed so you can run a generator and power your house. Just make sure you flip that switch before you look. It doesn't go anywhere because it plugs into the box. And the box, you're shutting off the line to the power pole, and it turns on the house. And anyway, they had a sale on those things, and I bought that one. What I didn't realize is the tank's too small, It's an industrial generator. Tank's too small and the exhaust isn't quiet. And that's how we ended up with neighbors, because one, lights are on in our house. Even that you could even turn on all the outlights or outside lights were motion detect, just kind of like we have here. You know, the certain ones are motion, the other ones are just on when you flip them on. But anyway, and that generator and the quietness of that little town of Silver Lake, Washington, you'd hear that generator running from blocks away. And people go, I hear a generator. They come knocking on the door. They'd hang out to get in the heat. Some people didn't. Of course, we had a stove insert. We used that for the heat. We never turned I don't think we ever turned, it was electric baseboard heat, I think the house had. You know, anyway. But that thing would only go, I think it was like 3.5, 4 hours on that tank. And of course, you know, the more load you have, and just like this one, you know, it'll last almost 9 hours. But at maximum capacity, it's like 3.8 hours or something like that. It goes down drastically. But yeah, it's kind of like your motorcycle. You hold it wide open. It doesn't get as good as the gas mileage as if you're driving it like a kitten. Anyway, good stuff. Poor little EF. Still, that thing, that EF1000 is so light and it's so convenient. It's great for, you know, camping, tent camping and stuff like that. And I mean, you're just using it to charge up phones and your computers and stuff. Or it's great for that. Coffee makers nowadays, we used to be able to run the coffee makers, and the last few generations that it overruns that EF1000. Just a startup speed. But that EF1000, it would run our pellet stove, and it was great. Good stuff. Anyway, Joe jacking about generators again today. So the notification for the tabs for Kelly's Himalayan and my GT650, you know, you get the email, it shows what's coming for the day. Well, yesterday it showed that, you know, my tabs and her tabs, 2 different letters from Washington Department of Licensing or whatever it is, said they're in. Get home, and Kelly brings it. She always sets the mail on my desk, you know, stuff for me while I deal with all the tags and stuff. So she gave me her licensing thing too. And I go, well, where's mine for the GT650? She goes, that's all that was in the mail. So I pull up that email. There it sits. So I clicked it. You go into the app and you can click a button saying I did not receive this. Well, I never heard back from, which seemed kind of weird. And anyway, I got a notification this morning for today's mail. Now mine is showing up today. It's actually showing 2 of them for me today. I'm trying to figure out when. I think the DR is in like April or something. March. So the Himalayan and the DR are both March. They wouldn't be sending me a notification that early. Or maybe they double scan the same one or something. I don't know. But anyway, I took off at about 11 o'clock last night in the snow and rode down out to the highway where the mailbox is, and to see, because we were in a rush because it was snowing, and it was pouring down snow. And when we got up the hill up here, and you could see the headlights of a car coming up. So I pull over and Kelly just reaches out the window and checks the mail. I'm like, you didn't happen to drop that thing, did you? And she goes, well, no. She goes, well, we were kind of rushing with that car. So I get dressed and put my riding pants on and a Carhartt coat and one of those headlight things, you know, that you put on your forehead. Down the road I went. So I went ripping in the middle of the night. Freaked the dogs all out. They didn't know what was going on. But when I come back, I, do my normal drain the fuel, and before I put it away, always do, and kick her through a couple of times and make sure it pulls it with the choke on it, pulls it through the pilot jet, make sure everything's clear. And anyway, I noticed it looked like the carburetor's weeping. because the way the vents work on this, you can see this is where the vent's at. That little brass nub coming out of there. I didn't see it on, I wasn't paying attention to this side because you do all the draining and everything on the other side. It's got a quick little screw. Anyway, all this area in here was wet with gasoline. Might have a float valve leaking on me. Poor little Z50. But that was fun. It's weird that it can be 31 degrees out here and you hear the gutters running. So all the snow we're supposed to be getting for the rest of the day, suddenly the weather changed. It's no biggie. Man, it's cold out here now. Man, I completely spaced it and didn't turn yesterday's vlog, which I should have done this morning. All the snow, and got myself all sidetracked and studying this and that, and did some they're doing something out there in the barn. Did some security training for work and all that kind of jazz. Look how them clouds are slowly moving in. The mountains are going to disappear in a minute. That's really cool when you look out there and them mountains are gone. Freaks you out when you look out at something that's always there, and all of a sudden it's not. It's past. It's like, I don't know, 4:30 or something. It's definitely past sunset. And what's sad, the sun was out for a little bit. I told Kelly, I said, what happened to all the snow? She goes, didn't I tell you? The weather changed. Suddenly decided there wasn't going to be any more snow. Yeah, it's supposed to snow all day tomorrow, too. Literally no chance of snow. Just hecka cold. Anyway. Well, hello there, YouTube. Man, now it's 9 o'clock out here and it's 28 degrees.
It's cold.
It's a good thing that all that snow or precipitation that was coming that would have been snow decided to pass on by, because it'd probably be feet deep out there by now.
Yeah, that would not be cool.
Yeah, man, cold. We've probably been trying out the old 2200 for it's coming.
Yeah, oh, it's coming.
I'm surprised all you guys that have those, the old 2000s and 2200s, and the old generators just live forever. One guy said he had one from 2001. That's how old that old EF1000 Yamaha is. 21 years old, almost 23. Them little things, just the simplest maintenance. They just go and go and go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mama, it's colder than 2 hecks out here.
It is very cold.
And dinner's about to hit the table.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're going to slip out on you.
Alrighty. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We really do appreciate it. We will talk to you tomorrow. Same smoke time, same smoke channel. Don't forget to give a thumbs up. And you guys have a wonderful Friday or Saturday.
Heck yeah. It's your first time showing your face on the camera.
I know. I've been wanting to show the face.
There you go. Just at the end. I'm just leaving.
Yeah, I know.
All right. See you guys in the morning. Bye-bye now.